All right, welcome back to German with John Berlin. And today's theme is how to make questions in German. Genau. So there are two types of questions in the German language. Firstly, some questions begin with a question article. Like in English, you have how, when, yes. Genauso in German, there are certain question articles. Since they begin with the letter W, as well as in German they begin with W, that's W. They're also known as W-Fragen. So certain questions begin with the W-Fragen, and certain other questions directly begin with the verb, like did you sleep good today? Yes. So the verb is sleep. So similarly, we'll be doing the two kinds of questions with W-Fragen and direct questions directly with verbs. So let's get started with the W-Fragen. So here we have a list of some question articles, yes, and let's have a look and let's learn how to make these questions. First is was. Was means what. Perfect. Then we have wie, like wie geht es dir? How's it going for you? How. Yes. Warum? Why? Warum bist du spät? Why are you late? Wieso? Wieso is like element of surprise. How come? Wieso ist er da? How come is he there? Wann? Now this is just like in English you say when. Wann ist dein Geburtstag? When is your birthday? Wo? Now this is related to the position. Where are you? Yes. Now wohin? This is also related to the position, but when you're traveling in that direction. So where to? And then woher? Woher kommst du? Like from where do you come? So it's also related to position. How to remember wohin and how to remember woher? Like in English, you have to and fro. To is towards, fro is from. You have hin und her in German. So hin is towards, her is back, from. So basically wohin is where to, woher is where from, and wo is simply where. All right, now we move forward to the next column here. It's called the personal W-Frage pronomen. These are also the W-Frage pronomen, but they're related to the personal pronouns. They are the basic questions of the personal pronouns. For example, who in German is wer. Yes. Whom in German is wen. To whom, for whom in German is wem, and whose in German is wessen. Yes, you're thinking correctly. Since till now we had been using the English words who, whom, to whom, for whom, and whose. Now we are using the German words wer, wen, wem, wessen. Now the question is how to remember these wer, wen, wem, wessen, and we can remember them easily with the help of our masculine definiter article. Yes, so the masculine definiter article in nominative, who, is there. Yes, from there we can remember where. Perfect. Our masculine accusative article, that's under whom, is den. Yeah, den, die, das. From den we can remember wen. Perfect. Then we have to whom, from whom, which is dative. Dative article is dem, der, dem. From dem we can remember wem. And latestly we learned genitive under the question whose, and the definiter article is des, der, des, der. Des being masculine, from des we can remember wessen. Perfect. So if you remember the masculine articles, definiter articles, you can remember the question pronouns as well. Fantastic. So with that in mind and these questions in front of us, let's get started and let's make some questions. And the basic structure of making a question is in front of us. We'll begin with the W-Frage, like how. Then we'll say, let's say the question is how are you? Then it's like how. Then we'll introduce the verb are. Then we'll get to the subject you, just like in English. How are you? Yes, doing. Perfect. And whatever you need to say in the rest of the sentence. Perfect. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Yes, perfect. So coming forward, we have this consolidated table once again. Like before, we had done this table in which we had our personal pronouns. Yes, we had, okay, we have an extra column here. Let me delete it. Might not need it. Yes. Okay, so give me a quick second to update this table. This is a little bit of too much information here. It's not needed. So let's remove it. Okay, so this is the consolidated table with the personal pronouns. Yes, ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, sie. Yes, in nominative, accusative, dative. In the third person pronouns, we have also the articles written underneath just to show where the third person pronouns are derived from. Yes, from the articles. May it be singular, may it be plural. Yes, let's have a look together. And we can look here. It's like der, die, das. From der, die, das, you get er, sie, es. Den, die, das, you get ihn, sie, es. Dem, der, dem, you get ihm, ihr, ihm. From die, you get sie. Die, you get sie. And from den, you get ihnen. And you have your possessive pronouns on the right. My, your, his, her, its. Our, your, plural. Their, and your, formal. So with this consolidated table of everything that we have learned thus far, we'll be able to make certain questions. Let's get started. So on the right, we have certain sentences. We need to follow the structure. We need to follow this table, and we have the German words in front of us and make some questions. First question is, what is your name? According to the structure, first we go to the W-Frage, that is what. What was what we learned? It was was, very good, was. Then we'll go to the verb, which is in German, it's sein, and it'll be what is, that's third person. So it'll be ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es, ist. So was ist. Now we'll say your. Perfect. So basically, what is your name? Yes, this is nominative. So we'll say name is der Name. We'll go to masculine, der, and we need to say your. Let's say you're saying it to a friend. That means saying it to someone. Du, you'll say dein. Yeah, so you'll write here dein. And as you see, der does not give its ending. Yes, der, das doesn't give its ending. So we'll not take any ending. Simply was is dein. Name. In the end, we'll write question mark. In German, we call this Fragezeichen. Das Fragezeichen, the question mark. Yeah. Question mark is important, else how will we know that it's a question? Perfect. So moving forward, let's see what we have next. We have the question, what is the name of the capital of Germany? Let's find out. What is the name of the capital of Germany? What, we'll begin with the structure. What, as we already know, is was. Very good. Is, we'll conjugate sein, third person, ist. The name, so basically sein is a nominative verb, so we'll stick to the nominative case and we'll say the name. Name is masculine, der, so we'll say der Name. Perfect. Was ist der Name? Of the capital. What is the name of the capital? So capital is basically feminine, die. So we could also use genitive whose name, and we could say whose is basically the genitive, des, der. Capital is feminine, so we could say der Hauptstadt, that's capital, main city. Was ist der Name der Hauptstadt of Germany? Now Germany is a name, and as we learned in genitive, when we are doing if we want to do genitive sentence here, we could say what is the name of the capital? Germany's. Name goes in the end. Instead of saying what is Germany's capital, we'll say what is the capital? Germany's. We'll write in the end Deutschlands with an extra S. Perfect. Was ist der Name der Hauptstadt Deutschlands? We'll put a question mark. Fantastic. Yes. Moving forward, what is your favorite movie? Once again, let's find out. We'll go to the structure, begin with what, that is was, conjugate it in third person. What is, was ist. Your favorite movie is as a nominative verb. We'll stick to the nominative case. And movie is masculine, der Film. but we don't want to say their, we need to say your. Let's say talking to your friend, we go to thine, we write here thine. Yes, and we all know there does not give its ending, it's not underlined. Yes, there, thus. So we'll continue with simply thine. Was ist dein Lieblingsfilm? Lieblingsfilm is a compositum. It's made of Lieblings, which is an adverb, and Film, which is a noun. Lieblingsfilm. Was ist dein Lieblingsfilm? Perfect. Now let's move on to a different W-Frage, that is how. Let's find out what it is. How are you called? Now what was how? It was wie. Let's write here wie and write down wie. The verb is heißen. We'll conjugate it in third person. Yes. So wie heißt, and basically we'll introduce the subject. It's du. We are talking to you. Wie heißt du? Fantastic. Yes. Okay. Wie heißt du? Fantastic. Yeah. So we've conjugated heißen. It was a mistake, in second person. Wie heißt du? Fantastic. Okay. Moving forward, we'll be going to the next question. How does it go for you? Or how are you, in simple words? How does it go for you, or how are you? So we'll begin with wie, that is how. The verb to go is gehen. We'll conjugate it for s. Wie geht es? How is it? Wie geht es? Now, wie geht es for you? For whom? Dative, yes, wem? So it's you, we'll say dir. So, wie geht es dir? How does it go for you? Wie geht es dir? How are you? Perfect. Now we'll say how much time is it? If you want to ask the time, how much time it is, we'll follow the structure. We'll begin with the W-Frage, that is how. We'll write wie. And there is an adverb here, which is much. We can add the adverb here. Wie viel. Yes, we can always add the adverb along with the W-Frage. Wie viel. Now we'll introduce our W-Frage and the noun as well. Wie viel Uhr? Genau. Wie viel Uhr. Then we'll come to the verb ist. Then we'll introduce the subject s. Perfect. Wie viel Uhr ist das? So little different structure in which we have introduced the noun here with wie viel Uhr. There was an adverb here, viel. So we got it together with the noun. Wie viel Uhr ist es? How much time is it? Fantastic. Moving forward, how late is it? Again, we'll begin with wie. Yes, it's a little small. Let's make it bigger. Wie. Now we'll say spät. That's an adjective. Spät. Ist. That's the verb. S, subject. So we saw that with W-Frage, you can have a noun, or you can have an adverb, or you can have an adjective when you're making a question. Yes. Then you could always have, like here, wie spät or wie viel Uhr. Yes. All right, fantastic. So with this done, I would say you attempt the other questions by yourself. Yes, you'll have the questions column on the like we learned earlier, and of course you'll also be having this consolidated table. Attempt those questions with the structure in front of you. I'm sure you'll be able to get the answers, and you can always cross-check with the answer book. So this is Joan Berlin signing off. Meet you with the second part of this lesson. Until then.